Grab your gear.
Discussions on video game controversy, contention, and conflict are the foundation of many a message board. We're ready to embrace hardline declarations, thoughtful opinions, dividing polemics, and weigh the rebuttals and endorsements to render a definite, if uneasy, judgment from our staff. Simply put, if someone at GT has a strong opinion, they'll raise their voice, release a statement to their peers, and receive feedback. Agree or disagree? You'll have to see, but it's not over until you weigh in, vote on the outcome, leave a comment, and let your voice be heard in the final verdict.
You got that? All right.
This assertion was authored by Justin Spear and represents his opinion on the matter.
Have fun.
Two core elements give the Mass Effect series its real pull: character relationships that are built up over multiple games and dozens of hours, and momentous decisions made by the player that are reflected and referenced as the story progresses. The ending of Mass Effect 3 abandons these strengths in its final hours, hurriedly engineering the definitive fate of its universe with a last-minute revelation and creating plot holes and inconsistencies that were rightly picked apart by fans. When players reach the final moment of decision, it feels disconnected from the rest of the experience. No matter who lived, who died, what species was preserved or annihilated, which squad mates you chose for your final mission, or who you fell in love with, you're asked to choose one of three non-interactive endings that provide no meaningful variation. Finally, the game reverts to a previous save point, and the player is told to continue to build Commander Shepard's legend through further gameplay and downloadable content.
We've got hostiles on the perimeter!
Rohan Rivas disagrees.
Come on, games are art, and with that, it's up to us to accept a developer's idea of what it envisions the end of the game to be, and digest it accordingly. Sure, it's subjective, but I found the ending to Mass Effect 3 to be totally appropriate for the game. Fate provides no meaningful variation, no matter which choices you make in life, and no matter what you did throughout the game, it doesn't really matter in the final moments. I'm okay with that, because it's about the journey, and not about the end.
Sounds like you just made your first choice to be free.
Ryan Stevens disagrees.
Endings are a tricky thing to pull off in and of themselves. Answers often pale to the very mysteries that birthed them, and Mass Effect 3 offered up a valiant effort in surmising a recursive universe. The multiplayer and DLC wrinkles are definitely blunt barbs, and the final forking path borders on egregious, but ultimately I straddled up to the side of satisfied with Shepard's space opera.
I will explain later, Jack. But it was something good.
Daniel Bloodworth agrees.
I think it speaks volumes that the final DLC is far more satisfying, even though it's largely just hanging out and partying with your crew. I'm not as violently indignant as some. I don't take a huge issue with the final choice you're presented with. But so much of the surrounding context just doesn't add up. Why would the Mass Effect relays blow up and strand most of the galaxy on Earth? Why is the mission to take back Earth so dull? Why did your crew end up back on the Normandy and ditch everyone? I think what bothers me the most, though, is that you spend most of the game building an army, gaining the support of different parts of the galaxy, and in the end, none of that really makes a difference. Earth shouldn't have been just another tough horde mode map. It should have been a chance to command your armies, to see the Krogans marching with their warbeasts, to have the Geth and Quarians launching advanced cyber attacks against the Reaper AI, and so on. It's easy to envision key roles for each group that you bring to your side. Instead, they amount to a number and a giant construction project.
But never before have we faced an enemy such as this.
Kyle Bosman disagrees.
Justin's ending may have been disappointing, but mine wasn't. My Mass Effect 3 was about a beautiful a-hole commander with glowing lava scars. She was a jerk to everyone and then saved the universe by transferring her entire consciousness into a fleet of massive space beetles. And then she just flew away. My ending ruled. And also at that point, it definitely should not have mattered how many of her subordinates she slept with, or whether she punched that one reporter or not. Justin's character relationships and momentous decisions are really only the main pull for some of Mass Effect 3's players. And it's okay, but considering the game's nature, there's no way to call it disappointing for everyone. Disagree.
If you have time, I discovered another example of human behavior I do not quite understand.
Rob Slusser disagrees.
Mass Effect is a giant story, with countless characters and subplots. If BioWare took the time to address each of them, the result would have taken so long, players would have destroyed the galaxy just to get it over with. So instead, they chose to focus on resolving the main conflict of Mass Effect 3, the Reapers attacking the galaxy. Most of the other plot points they chose to leave as open endings. We don't see what the Krogan and Solarians are doing, but this far into the game, we know them so well that we already know what they're going to do. I agree that the ending could have been better in a lot of ways. But personally, I like open endings, and the parts of the ending that bothered other people didn't ruin it for me.
I don't know what to say.
Matt Blair disagrees.
Don't forget that all throughout Mass Effect 3, your decisions from all 3 games matter in every level, on every world, right up until the end. As Shepard, you're a man who must sacrifice everything and push on, desperately trying to complete your mission. The universe is literally at stake. Your friends may be dead. You don't even know if you will survive this battle. You don't know if you can do anything once you arrive on the Catalyst, but you have to try. After everything that you have been through in this long saga, it's all down to you, right here, right now. My companions got me here, but I have to finish the fight. That is the perfect way to end it all.
What's our status?
We've got a foothold, but it's not much, Commander. A lot of fighters guarding the launch base.
By a margin of 5 votes to 2, the notion that Mass Effect 3's original ending fails to provide a logical and satisfying conclusion to the series has been rejected. Justin Speer responds.
Perhaps my expectations were too high. I'd hoped the finale would be a stronger iteration of Mass Effect 2's suicide mission, with the individuals I leveled up and helped out, and the races I worked so hard to preserve from extinction, playing their parts in some kind of grand and final battle. Instead, I found myself taking 2 squad mates whose names I can't even remember down to the surface of Earth to fight a bunch of the game's toughest mobs, and then feed myself to some kind of ending machine. Wrapping up an epic saga certainly isn't the simplest thing in the world, and I do think that it's important to preserve artistic integrity. But neither of these things is helped when you tie the fate of your world to a multiplayer mode that features microtransactions and attempt to coerce players into purchasing a DLC squad mate story pack on launch day. Can we really blame outspoken fans for being dissatisfied? Whether it had to do with time or budget limitations, clashing egos in the studio, or just poor execution, I just don't feel that Mass Effect 3's ending was BioWare's best shot. With this verdict, we're letting them off the hook. Next time, I'll know to expect less.
This is it, isn't it?
Yeah. This is it.
While GameTrailers has delivered a final verdict on the ending of Mass Effect 3, there's still your vote, your voice. Will Justin be vindicated or vilified? Has Kyle finally said something the internet won't agree with? Vote on our Facebook poll with the link below, or simply leave a comment and let us know if the original ending is your favorite one on the Citadel or not. Look forward to more final verdicts, outrageous opinions, and surprising upturns in the weeks to come, with more community interaction and chances to get your thoughts and judgments delivered.